Political economist Dr. Lumkile Mondi joins us for analysis on the implications of the ANC NEC's proposed government of national unity. Dr. Mondi, very good evening to you. Thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Just your thoughts from the little, maybe I should say, that the president of the ANC told us last night.
I think, for me, I'm very encouraged that, the ANC leadership has handled its defeat exceptionally. The fact that they understand that South African people are no longer seeing them as the leader of society. And therefore, in order for them, despite having 40% and being the largest party in South Africa, addressing the aspiration of the masses of people that voted for them, they can't do it alone. So I was encouraged that there's acceptance that they have to work with others, but more importantly also fulfill the expectations of voters, where voters want all the parties, at least the bigger ones, to work together, and working together to fulfill the 1996 promise of an economy that's growing, that's creating jobs, but also a government that addresses the past for South Africa to ensure that there's inclusion, we defeat the racial exclusion and racial inequality that we've inherited from the apartheid regime.
Well, I mean, a promise that wasn't, and I'm being deliberate here in how I pronounce this, that dream that has not been fulfilled, right? What makes one think that the presence of other political parties will now make that dream come true?
I think, for me, what we're seeing is that the ANC itself, as we all know, is that it is almost probably the fourth time it has splitted. Remember that the Pan-Africanist Congress had split from them, then the COPE, EFF, and then MK. So basically what it shows me is that there is a realization that what is remaining of the ANC is probably going to be the core of the ANC, where the ANC will be one of other parties. And that realization therefore calls for cooperative governance, for you to have others to assist you to fulfill the promise of 1996. But simply, when we had all the other remnants I've mentioned, particularly after 1994, you were unable to. We had almost 66% under President Thabo Mbeki, which in fact was the highest level that the ANC had achieved, where when the economy was growing at a faster rate since the 1960s. And there was an emergence of black diamonds who were participating, were young, were participating in the economy. However, the ANC itself shot itself on the foot because it was not satisfied with that. It thought that they could embark on a different program, which is the very same program that has led to it splitting and becoming a much smaller party than Mbeki had in 2007. So it's sort of an admission that, yes, we're going to be smaller, we're going to be a small party, but want to work with others so that we can remain in power and influence.
But what makes you say, though, Dr. Mondi, that there is a realization? It would seem that the only thing that is forcing the ANC into what it is trying to get into now is the fact that it has performed poorly in the election, and that on the back of like record high unemployment statistics, an economy that has been performing dismally, where poverty and inequality are just as bad as the unemployment rate. So where is the realization there?
Because they all know that we're way up because of them. So they know that, guys, in street language, we've messed it up. So this is our mess, and therefore we cannot rectify it, because when we're supposed to account South African people, we schemed and blocked any available legal challenge to do the right thing. So therefore, there's an admission that within us, ourselves, we're not accountable and we've got no means of correcting the damage we've done. So the only way for us to try and save whatever face that is left is to work with others. Hopefully through that, we'll regain confidence and maybe, who knows, and maybe improve a little bit in the 2029 election. So it's a big gamble, it's a big bet. But what basically the voters have told the ANC is that the writing is on the wall. You're going to continue declining, becoming a smaller party. So the only thing that you can do now is to really rebuild yourself, weed out all the corrupt, incompetent, and bring back those that are competent, those that are committed to South Africa, not the party, but to the people of South Africa. And we can only do so by working with others. And those that we're working with are also the same people who are committed to changing the fortune of South Africa, because we were all aware that under the ANC, things got better and things also started reversing. And where we are, where life is very, very hard for ordinary South Africans.
Do things now that you couldn't do when you had the power, and of course the votes are meant to go with that. In the interest of time, Dr. Mondi, just a couple of quick ones, if I may. I mean, you have had a lot of, business organizations, predominantly the black ones, everyone coming out of the woodwork opposing an arrangement where the ANC would work with the Democratic Alliance. You also had the ANC's alliance partners in the form of COSATU and the SACP making similar statements. Our policies, starting with the DA, our policies of the ANC and the DA as fundamentally and diametrically opposed as they are made out to be by those opposing the tunadering between the two?
In fact, for me, that's a shock. When I read that BBC, I was shocked by that statement because there is so much common between the DA and the ANC. Firstly, Vuyo, in terms of the Constitution of South Africa, the rule of law, more importantly also, understanding the importance of the business sector, that the state can only succeed through a thriving business sector because that's where the state gets funded. And if the business sector is thriving, the investment environment is friendly, there is growth in the economy, the political parties themselves benefit. So I'm shocked why the BBC and others, such as COSATU and CCP, will have issued the DA when the DA brings in quite a lot of strength and capability, but more importantly also is committed to building and helping many of these parties, including the ANC, to put South Africa first so that we can be able to create opportunities for the majority of black South Africans, because a black-led government under ANC with a majority failed to do so. So I'm really shocked. Why are the elites, particularly in BBC, so much selfish that the ANC has opened path for them to be where they are? And the masses of South Africans with over 50% of unemployment, with poverty and hunger experienced on a daily basis, that those individuals who are an elite could come out and blame the ANC or be against the ANC position, which is a very progressive position to work with the DA to enable us to create a rule of law, attract business, create jobs, and also redress the disparities of the past.
Dr. Mondi, let's leave it there for now. An interesting one indeed. We'll see how all this pan out. It's important, I think, to point out that, the very same SACP and COSATUs have been the ones to say that the ANC is pursuing neoliberal policies and abandoning the working class. And as Dr. Mondi is saying, the business organizations as well have been beneficiaries of the ANC's BEE and other policies. But of course, we haven't even done justice to this debate for tonight, but that's where we are going to leave it